The late, great Merv Griffin wore many hats. He was a successful businessman, talk show host, entertainer, singer, and game show creator. He was also gay during a period of time in American history when it was a lot more difficult for LGBTQIA celebrities to be out and open. Perhaps this is why Griffin, who died of prostate cancer at age 82 in 2007, remained in the closet throughout his life. Join Factsverse as we discuss the big secret that he took to the grave. Merv's father disapproved of his show business dreams. Merv Griffin was born July 6, 1925, to parents Rita Robinson and Mervyn Edward Griffin Sr., a successful stockbroker and businessman. As a child, Griffin was a piano prodigy. While growing up, his aunt taught him how to play music, which he preferred over sports. His first passion was for classical music, but he later transitioned to playing popular music, which he felt was more rewarding. Playing pop music at parties and weddings helped him earn some money, and as a teen, he started singing at church. After graduating high school, Merv enrolled at San Mateo Junior College. He later moved to the University of San Francisco, where he studied for some time before dropping out. While academia wasn't his scene, Griffin still had high hopes of making it big as an entertainer. Since childhood, Merv would organize shows, recruiting neighbor kids to be actors, stagehands, and audience members for his performances. He had a blast, but his father deeply disapproved of his career choice and managed to convince Merv to take a job as a teller at a local bank. Griffin ended up resigning from his teller job after he learned that one of his colleagues, who had been working as a teller for more than 3 decades, was still earning the same meager pay as he was. After quitting the dead-end job, Griffin, who was just 18 at the time, put everything he had into showbiz. Within a year, he scored a job playing piano at the San Francisco radio station KRFC. He eventually moved on from that gig and started singing with a 30-piece orchestra show called San Francisco Sketchbook Show. The program was later renamed The Merv Griffin Show. In his mid-20s, Griffin left for Palm Springs. He became even more popular after putting out the hit song, I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already.
This video is brought to you by Shaker and Spoon. Shaker and Spoon is a monthly cocktail subscription box that delivers the craft cocktail experience right to your front door. Each month, you'll receive a box with 3 unique recipes in them. You'll get to try out different liquors and quality ingredients without having to individually purchase all of the items. I ordered the Begin Again box, which features gin-based cocktail recipes. I was really impressed by the quality of the ingredients, which ranged from fresh rosebuds to delicious syrups and garnishes. The first recipe I tried was for a cocktail called Play It Cool. The recipe card was super easy to follow, and it's without a doubt one of the most delicious cocktails I've ever made at home. So if you're interested in delicious, complex drinks made simple and delivered to your front door, check out Shaker and Spoon today. If you click the link below and use the code FACTSVERSE at checkout, or go to shakerandspoon.com/factsverse, you can get $20 off of your first box.
Show business and smart investments. The Merv Griffin Show premiered in 1962. Although he started with stellar ratings, the show was canceled in a little under a year. Griffin then secured a deal with NBC, which allowed him to start his own production company. It was then that he came up with the idea for a game show in which contestants would be provided trivia answers but have to come up with the questions. If they failed at that task, they would lose their prize money. That game show, of course, was Jeopardy, which Griffin worked on for 11 years before coming up with the idea for Wheel of Fortune in 1975. Griffin later sold his production company, Merv Griffin Enterprises, to Coca-Cola for a mind-blowing $250 million in 1986. Before he sold off his business, Griffin was a very cautious yet determined investor in radio stations and media outlets. One of those investments was in a company called Teleview Racing Patrol, which he transformed into a major source of closed-circuit horse racing broadcasts at betting and wagering sites across the country. Griffin further diversified his investments with casino and hotel properties. 2 of his biggest acquisitions were Donald Trump's Resorts International property in Atlantic City and the Trump Casino. These 2 deals came with heavy debts, and the companies were left with no other choice but to declare bankruptcy in 1989. Griffin then upgraded the properties and used them to test out new game shows before selling them off to Sun International Company in 1993. In a similar manner, Griffin purchased and renovated the Beverly Hills Hotel and opened up a nightclub which he called the Coconut Club. modeled after the world-famous Coconut Grove. Griffin continued to grow his wealth into the billions, a feat that's quite rare for a former television star. Despite retiring from acting, he continued to work non-stop until his death in 2007 at age 82. Although he had a remarkably successful career, Griffin was never able to present his genuine self to the public. Griffin was married and hid his sexuality. It's not uncommon for queer celebrities, especially from times past, to get married as a means of hiding their sexual orientation. Countless stars like Rock Hudson, Anthony Perkins, and Elton John have taken this tried and true route. After marrying his wife, Julann Wright, in 1958 and divorcing her in 1976, Merv hid his sexuality by dating actress Ava Gabor. While he was rumored to have been involved with many stars, none of these alleged relationships caught the media's attention quite like his connection with Gabor did. Griffin and Ava were best friends for 17 years. Gabor was born into an upper-middle-class family in Budapest and began her professional career as an ice skater and cafe singer. In time, Ava moved to the U.S. after meeting and marrying a Swedish-born LA physician in 1939. Her mother, Jolie, and sisters Magda and Jaja Gabor arrived in America in the early 40s. After arriving in the States, Ava signed a contract with Paramount Pictures, started taking acting lessons, and learned to speak English fluently. Soon enough, she appeared in the 1941 film Forced Landing, which helped launch her acting career. By the 50s, Gabor and her sisters were full-fledged celebs. During that period, she received praise for her appearances in Broadway productions like The Happy Time. This eventually led to the development of The Ava Gabor Show. By 1953, all sisters had nightclub acts in Las Vegas. Ava then appeared in another film called The Last Time I Saw Paris. Her most noteworthy acting role came when she was cast as Lisa Douglas on Green Acres. That show aired on CBS from 1965 to 71. In the 90s, Ava and Griffin were regularly seen beside each other. The television mogul also starred alongside her in the film Return of Green Acres. Griffin, when asked, would explain his relationship with Gabor by stating that while they loved each other, they often pursued relationships with other people. They went everywhere together. From Morocco to other island getaways, the two were always in each other's company. They at one point planned on getting married. Ava even asked Nancy Reagan to be her matron of honor, but those plans never materialized. According to Merv, he and Ava were driven apart by their inability to agree on the house they'd live in together and which staff members Ava would bring along with her. He later revealed the breakup happened just before Ava's tragic death. She died of respiratory distress at age 74 in 1995. Merv's marriage to Julann Wright was likely for show. Merv married Julann Wright in 1958. Together, the couple had a son named Tony. When asked about his private life, Griffin would frequently quip that he was a quarter sexual, as he was willing to do anything with anyone for a quarter. It's unclear if he and Julann really ever loved each other, or if the marriage was purely to deflect the rumors he was gay, because most of the time he was very secretive about his business and personal life. Either way, he and Wright separated and divorced in 1976. After going their separate ways, the two remained friends for many years. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know that Merv Griffin was gay and that he took the secret with him to the grave? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.